All right, okay, so this video will be on how to analyze your charts using trading view. Okay, I've said that like 100 times today. Okay, so I'll be showing you how to draw annotations on the charts, how to make those markups, and uh, apply your risk to reward markup as well. Okay, so let me go to the daily time frame to start from there, just to make the video shorter. So I'll just start from the daily time frame. So I'll be analyzing the GBP, USD, British dollar, British pounds, US dollar. All right. So I've shown you guys how to view the charts, how to zoom in, zoom out, your little tweaks here and there, how to put the chart on auto mode, how to take out of auto mode as well. All right. And so this is it. Let me start. All right. So I can clearly see that the the currency pair is very visibly on a downtrend. It's that obvious. There's no extra conviction. I need to know that okay, this market is it's a bearish market. I've seen that and I know that. So what do I want to do? I want to find my trade, right? And I know my area. I already have the areas I'll be looking for that would require me to take a trade, that if I see, I'll be taking a trade. And that's what your markup helps you do. Your markups are just annotations on your screen to help you indicate um, uh, currency levels in price that you'll be looking for in order for you to take a trade. So okay, so I can clearly see here, I don't even know if I should use retail price action or smart money concepts. Oh god, which one should I use? Let me just use retail price action. All right, so I can clearly see that the market has been breaking structure bearish. It's been breaking structure, break of structure, break of structure, break of structure, and break of structure here as well. And there is no need for me to draw those break of structure. My eyes can clearly see those. I want to draw something that is very immediate, very very immediate to my eyes right now. So I can clearly see that this zone up here, it's a clear resistance zone. This is a clear resistance zone, right? So how do I mark up my resistance zone? I do not want to use a line to mark up my resistance zone. So these two right here, these line tools, the horizontal line is not going to be my go-to tool when it comes to marking zones. So I would rather use a rectangular tool to mark my zones. So how do I get to find my rectangular tools? All right, I come to this button right here, this brush button. When I click on my brush button, what happens is it's going to show me other options of tools that I can select that best fits the kind of markup I want to make on my screen. So when I click the brush tool, other options pops up, and you can see one of my favorite tools here is the rectangle tool. This is how you mark your favorites. You click on that star button and you click out. So if when you mark your favorites, what happens is okay, the trading view automatically bring those to the top of your screen to make it easily accessible. Let me not go and say something bad. Which one is sex now? So okay, all right. So that's what happens. So I want to use my rectangle to draw my resistance zone, to mark out my resistance zone. Then I click my rectangle tool, and then I move to the starting point. After moving there, I touch to make the first point, to create a starting point. I tap, bam. After tapping, I drag to how far I want to drag to. I think this has covered enough for me to be okay with. And then I click the second time. At the end point, I click there. All right. So I click out. You can see that's my clear resistance zone. All right, so this it's the chart will be the markup will be shown in its default color. But if you do not like the default color being blue and you would like to change it, you can just click on the markup and then come to uh this bucket of paint here, this symbol showing a bucket of paint. You click on that and then you can change the color to whatever you want. So resistance being a place that pushes the market down, which and anything downwards seems to be negative abi. So me, I would choose red for that. Let me choose a light red, or let me just choose red. You can see, and this one here is to the outline of that zone, the border. You can also put it on red. Yeah. So now the resistance zone is marked out in red. And if you say, okay, I may forget that that's a resistance zone, so I want to make a write up there that says to me, this is a resistance zone that reminds me why I drew that zone. You can just double click on that's your markup right there. Double click on it, then it takes you into this pop-up screen where you can apply your text. It's because I've used this tool before that the text is clicked, so it's going to appear this way naturally. So when it comes to this part, you click on the text, you tap the text to activate, and then you write what you want to write. So that's my resistance zone, right? Resistance zone. All right, so this is what you will suffer for not having a system. It's very stressful. Unlike a system, you just be doing your thing very easily with your mouse and keyboard. Resistance zone. Then I've written my resistance zone. Then I use my back button. It zooms out, and then I can apply the position I want to have the write up on. If I want the write up to be inside the box, by the right or by the left, or on top or outside of the box. Well, I want to do inside the box, so I'll just click inside, center, and then OK. You can see the write up is there. Let's go back into that pop-up screen. The text, this is the text. You can make the write up bold by clicking this B. You can make it slanty by using this italic button here. And if you want to reduce the font size, you can use this number. So you click on the arrow. I think 10 is the least you can use. You can push it up to 40 if your screen is big enough. But since your screen is small, you just want to try to make everything as minimal as possible. So that's why we'll be sticking to 10. All right. So, okay. I click my OK. So that's my resistance zone. All right. So I can see here that this zone, it's a zone of supply. This whole zone down here, it's a zone of why am I saying supply? It's a support zone, right? And how do I draw my support zone? The same way I did my resistance zone. Same like this. Okay, I drag from here up onto here, and then I touch. And I want to change my support zone. I want to change the color of my support zone. I also want to write inside. I touch, I change the color to green. If I want to, you can change the color to whatever. It's your that one is it's something of preference. I mean, whatever you want to use. It's nobody's business when it comes to coloring of annotations. So, and if I want to do the write up, I double click inside. Sorry. Double click inside. Then I write my support zone. Right, support zone. Okay, that's my support zone here. All right, so now I clearly have my resistance zone and my support zone marked out on the daily time frame. All right, so now I can go to the 4-hour time frame to get minimal annotations. I go to my 4-hour time frame. Okay, so now I can see another level of support up there just below the resistance zone. And it's looking like support turn resistance. So that zone, I can do that zone using a line. All right, I can do that zone using a line, and I can also see here in the past, which this one is not necessary right now. So I'm just showing you how to make markups. I can see a trend here, a trend here. This is a trend that happened in the past, but I just want to mark it up to show you how to. So my trend will be marked this way. I can come to this zone here, this section here, and touch that. So it brings out everything. That is my trend line tool. Sorry, that's my trend line tool. Then I just click on it. But since it's part of my favorite, so it's going to be on the top of my screen, being here. So I'll just click on it here. But it's that easy. I touch the starting point, then I drag to that zone out there. I drag. If it shoots in, it may not be possible for everyone to see it. So if I want to make it bigger, I touch on it, then I increase the pixel size. This is where you increase the size of the trend line from 1 to 2. I think 2 is visible enough, and then I touch on it. Yeah, it takes me out. All right, if it's a trend channel, you add a second line to it. You can add a second line, so draw a channel, and then you take to the upside the same way. But if you do not want to draw a second line because you are the type that gets stressed easily, you can just touch this line here, then touch this triple button symbol, and then you can just clone it. You can clone that line. You can make it 2. You see, and then it brings out the second line. All right, I guess this video is going to be long, but you just have to bear with me. There's no way of explaining it shorter. Okay. All right, so that's the trend line channel. That's how you draw your channel. I've shown you 2 ways of drawing a trend line. You can either draw one and then clone it, making it 2, or draw one and draw the second one. But using your PC, you can just double click and do whatever you do with your shortcut keys and just copy it. It's that simple. But since you are using a phone, you have to make do with what you have, and you have to learn the ways of making it easy for yourself. So we have to be gods of improvisation when using our phones. It's just the way it is. All right. Okay. All right. So there's nothing much here on the 4-hour time frame here with the retail price action method. Okay, but I can also see here that this is a support zone. It has given us the first stop. The price tried coming up to the side, but couldn't go up. It had to come back down to this support zone, which can also be called a demand zone. All right, so let me say I want to also mark that zone as well. Yeah, that's the resistance zone. You can just come use my rectangle tool since it's a part of our favorites already. Resistance rectangle tool. Then I just click to that top side. All right, I drag there. Double click on it. Sorry. Double click on it. Then I can just write my resistance zone. But you can always be writing resistance zone, so I would prefer using a short, just like an acronym for it, being RZ. That serves me well. It's going to be there. All right, so that's on my 4-hour. Then I can go to the 1-hour time frame. Okay, 1-hour time frame. Now it's looking like, okay, price, it's in the consolidating mode, a ranging mode. There are many words for it. Price is ranging, it's consolidating, it's moving sideways. I want to know. Okay, but I think the advanced guys, it means a lot to them too, sharp. But so we know to the point we know until we know more than we know. All right. Okay, let me not be speaking like a guru. Okay, so I can see here a price is moving sideways. it came to this point here, then aggressively moved back up on the 1 hour time frame. So there is nothing much here on the 1 hour time frame. You can see we've been shrinking down from the daily little by little so that price will not catch us by surprise. We know what we are looking out for. Okay. All right, so you can move to the 30 minutes, but that won't be necessary. So I would personally move to the 15 minutes. Yeah, so the 15 minutes, I can see price here clearly. All right, I can see price here clearly. So I can say, okay, now let's say I'm looking for a trade setup here. Price is moving in a minimal range, being this zone here and this zone here. You get? And I'm looking for a trade. I say, okay, I'm going to get in here. If price comes up to this zone here, this point here, I'm going to take a short position. I'm going to sell the market, and I would want to calculate my risk to reward. There's a tool for calculating your risk to reward on trading view. You can just come up to this, you can see it here, this tool right here. You touch on it. If you want to sell, you use the short position. If you want to buy the market, you use the long position. Okay, let's add it to our favorite so we can just be using it from the top of our screens. I'll add the shorts for now. All right, so I want to take a sell from here. Let's see when price comes to that. I'll wait for price to come to this point, and then I shoot it downward, right? Then I just use this button here. I touch here. All right. Okay, this will be my profit target. Okay, and that will be my risk just above this resistance zone. That will be my risk. You can adjust your risk by dragging. You can adjust your profits by dragging the down one for a short position. Okay, let's make this more understandable by changing the colors. You can change the color of this to make it, profit is green, Abby. So let's make our profits part of that long position be green. All right. Okay, profit should be in green. All right, and let the risk be in red. All right. Okay, now it looks more natural. Profits green. Let's increase the opacity. Can you see? Okay, so that's how. And now I want to actually draw how I want my trade to go, in expectation that, okay, that's the way my trade will go. I can just come to these buttons here, this section here, and use this part 2. You can see the part 2. The part 2 is just to give you an idea of the direction you are expecting price to go. So I can just click on the part 2, click on it, then I mark my starting point. I drag, I touch that one, I drag to the downside. All right, then I touch the last point, and I can see that's okay for me. All right, so that's my part 2. Let me take it out. Let me make it an actual line so you can see. Let me use the part 2 again so you can actually get how I did it the first time. All right, so I'm sorry the video is long, but I think it has to be long. All right, I can just come here, click my part 2. This is my part 2. All right, so I click on the current point in price. The first click, I drag to, okay, that's the place I think price is going to reverse at. I click there, second touch, and then the touch. Okay, sorry, I've actually made a mistake. Okay, the part 2, first touch, you drag, second touch, and then you drag to the touch, and you double click. Yeah, so I'm expecting price to move this way. Do you understand? Okay, so then if I want to view the chart in 1 minute, I can as well view it in, okay, let's see, let us view it in 5 minutes first. All right, okay, and now the screen is too cramped up. You can use this part here to shift this thing, this one here, to shift it to wherever you want. Now you see the screen is too cramped up, you want to view it smaller, That's where dragging of numbers comes in handy. Yeah, you drag it here, and you, you just drag down. You drag down. Yeah, it's that easy. It's that easy. I can clearly see how I want charts to play. I already have a bigger view of what chart is doing, of what price is doing from the larger time frames. So price is not going to catch me by surprise. So that's how you make your write-ups and annotations using TradingView. Yeah, you can see everything. I've shown you how to get your tools, your trend lines. If you want to mark a horizontal line, it's easy as well. Horizontal lines, you just touch the horizontal line here, and then you click on that point. Bam. It just brings out the straight line there. It's that easy. So I've showed you how to uh, uh, draw out zones, type on zones, how to impute text, how to draw your trend lines, how to copy and paste your trend lines, how to and set your positions on the charts. So, and let's say, okay, now I'm expecting price to come. Okay, let us go back to the 15 minutes. Let's say I'm expecting price to come to this zone here and then shoot up back to this upside. Then we can now use our long position to long position, and then we mark the zone we are expecting price. Let's say we are expecting price to touch on this blue line before pushing up to the upside. Yeah, so we can do that. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, that's the entry, that's the risk, and that is the reward. Let's change the colors. Reward is in green, Abby, and the risk is in red. Risk is dangerous. Not really. I learned that risk is not dangerous. It's necessary to make profits. Okay, from the mentor himself. Okay. All right. So that's how you do your. And you can also use the part to say, okay, we're expecting price to come to this point here. You touch and then you drag. This is what you're expecting price to do. You're using the path tool to draw your expectation of price movement. You're using the long position and short position tool to map out your entry, your risk, and your reward points. You're using the rectangle tool to map out zone, the text tool in the rectangle to annotate your text to remind you of what you actually indicated that point of price to be. You're using your trend lines to mark out trend and trend channels. And okay, should I also show how to use Fibonacci? I don't know. All right, let me show how to use the Fibonacci here. All right, and how to clean your Fibonacci tool, how to make it look cleaner so it does not look cramped up like something that it's scattering ground. All right, let me do that. Let me go to a higher time frame, a much larger time frame. All right, let me click the auto. Okay, I want to go back in price. All right, okay, let me see. All right, let us use this zone right here to show us how to use the Fibonacci tool. All right, okay. All right, you see the coloring is here. This coloring is right here, right? That this one is because of those markups I'm making on my screen. When you make markups on your screen, TradingView just indicates the current position in price that those markup are related to. So these are, it's going to happen when you start your chart. It's going to look clean, but when you when you start imputing annotations and markups, it starts coloring those points in price. Okay, so let me show you how to use your Fibonacci tool, Fibonacci retracement tool, using on TradingView using your phone. Okay, this is how you use it. You click this zone here where you see these lines, there's multiple lines. You come down there, you can see your Fibonacci retracement up there. It's a very important tool. So that's why it's even at the top. Fibonacci retracement tool. Okay, it's the movement started here, Abby. Okay, it's not really important to watch which part actually started between these two. So we can just say it started here, started somewhere there. The push to the downside. Okay, started there. We click there for a starting point, and then we drag to the downside. Okay, I'm sorry. This I've edited my own Fibonacci retracement tool to smart money concept. Okay, let me edit it back and show you how to use it. Okay, defaultly your Fibonacci tool is going to come. Let me do the templates and let me take it back to default. How do I default this? Okay, apply default. Yeah, so this is how your Fibonacci tool will come on trading view. This is your default Fibonacci. Let's draw it again. Fibonacci retracement tool, the start of the move. Okay, and then you click the end of the move, and we were told that we are looking for the important points in price, being the point of retracement, being the 50, the 60, and where is that second one? So those are actually the two most important here, the 50, the 60. But it can actually happen anywhere, but the most probable ones is the 50, the 0.5, and the 0.618. Okay, and you want to have those most important ones to be showing on your screen. You don't want to have your screen to be all cramped up like this. So what do? You click in. When you click in, you take out the ones you don't want to see. Okay, let's say the 0.38 is important to us, Abby. The 0 is important to us, the 0.618 is important to us, and the 0.5 is important. So what do we do to the rest? To the rest, I mean, you start marking them out. You start taking them out. You have to leave this one here because this one indicates the end of that move. The 0 indicates the start of the move. Your important numbers are these ones, the 3.8, the 6.1, the 5. You take out this 2 right here. Okay, and this 7.8, the 7.8 is very important. Actually, this 3 points, the 382 is not that important. So what do? You just take out that one. You don't really care about that one. You want to be focused on having the 0.5 on your screen, the 0.618, that's, and the 0.78. Those are the most probable places that price might have a retracement at. So what do? You take all the rest out and you leave those ones there. You leave the 0, you leave the 1, because those are the starting point and the ending point of that move. So now what do you have right now? You just have your lines marked out there, and it's looking simple. So this is your 618, that's your 786, and what can you even see happen here? So price had the little shake when it got to that 618, between that 0.5 and the 0.618, you can see. All right, so this is how you use your, and you can say, okay, I'm expecting price to make a I'm expecting the retracement. I mean, so my tongue. I've been speaking for too long. I am not really the talking type. So whenever I talk for too long, my tongue starts cringing. So you just have to bear with me. So let's say now you've drawn from here to here, and you're expecting the retracement in price to end at the 0.618. Then you can come to that point, and when price start getting to that point and you start seeing exhaustion there, exhaustion, you can just, okay, I want to short price. You can just come here now and you put your entry right in the middle of the 0.5 and the 6. You can put your risk just above the 6.8 line, the 0.618 line, and you can just put your this thing there. You don't want your reward to be too massive. So, if you want to just take a very short trade, you can just do that. You see, you put your risk just above the 618, just above the 618, because that's a very important level. If you don't want to put your distance there, you can also put it here just above the 7. It has to be above. It shouldn't be on that number, on that same line. It has to be just above it. Okay, and then you can maximize your reward. But like you see, if we had to set the distance here, just above the 60, you can see price gave us a little manipulation, like it was coming to the downside. You were in profit for a while, yeah, you were in profit for a while here, and then price just broke through and got to hit our stop loss. And that's trading, I guess. That's trading. You don't always happen to be stainless. Your losses will come. So I think that's it, Avio. I've said a lot. I think my mouth is paining me right now, but I think it's necessary. So I believe I got to say all I needed to say. How to write on charts. And okay, let me show you how to just put a write up on charts without even any annotation. You just want to write on somewhere on your charts. You can just come to this text, this T tool you see here, the text tool. And you can just apply the text and click the point you want to write the text at. Let's say I want to write something here. Bam. All right, the text can be, I can just write all right. All right, so let's say you want to write this on your chart. You can see it there. Okay, that statement is not correct. Let me write it well. Let me complete this statement. I just want to show you how to apply text. All right, so that's the text right there. So, but you can write something that's related to trading. It's your choice. You can shift the text, touching that point tool under the text. Sorry, that point, so you can move the text to wherever you want to. All right, so let me use my auto tool to take me back to price points. You can just zoom back. Let me. All right, so this is where price is at the moment, and I hope to say as much as I should. And that's how I do my analysis on trading view. If you want to see the MT5 one, maybe okay, just if you want to see the MT5, maybe Mr. Maven will instruct me on if I should do it or not. But I think this is the one you really need for now.